Chapter 42, Mourning. I'm about to set up a large formation. Those who enter without paying homage will be killed without pardon. Gu Hai let out a cold snort. Wow, the surrounding cultivators were in an uproar, staring at Gu Hai with wide eyes. Setting up a formation, setting up a big formation. The big formation just now was still fresh in their minds, of course. That big formation was still within the tolerance range of the crowd of cultivators, even though it kept exploding. Now, it was Gu Hai who wanted to set up a formation or Heavenly Sword Life and Death Formation. 28 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal formations. The grand formation that exterminated 20,000 cultivators. Countless cultivators had a jolt, and some of the timid ones had already started to retreat towards the outside world. Gu Hai, however, no longer paid any attention to the four directions of cultivators, but instead looked towards the group of villains. Gao Xianzi, you will lead the heavenly ministry. Temporarily patrol the surrounding area of the ancient mansion first. Those who dare to intrude without telling us, kill. Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Yes, Gao Xianzi answered. Gu Han, you will assist Gao Xianzi and point out the patrol area. At the same time, deal with this remaining Songjia sect disciple. Gu Hai looked towards Gu Han. Yes, righteous father, Gu Han answered. Gu Qin, it's up to you to settle the others down, Gu Hai commanded. Yes, righteous father, Gu Qin answered. The crowd of villains was slowly arranged. With the non-stop construction for the majority of the year, the ancient mansion was getting bigger and bigger. However, Gu Hai still preferred his own punching tower. Having just returned, Gu Hai soaked in a hot bath, and after being refreshed, Gu Hai took out a large amount of spirit stones. It started laying down a formation. A group of villains helped to point and bury the spirit stones and began to set up a large formation. Huiyu. Steeply, white mist rushed into the sky, slowly enveloping the four directions of the ancient mansion. Quickly go, Gu Hai has set up a formation. Heavenly Sword Life and Death Formation. It must be the Heavenly Sword Life and Death Formation. It's the 28th Heaven and Earth Vertical Formation. The crowd of cultivators quickly retreated towards the periphery. After all, ancient sea cloth formation was known for its ferocity. On the Sky Surge Tower, Gu Hai overlooked the cloud-covered grand formation, and a trace of satisfaction flashed in his eyes. People from the outside couldn't see inside, but standing on the tower, the eye of this formation, they could see everything in the outside world. Righteous Father, is this the 28 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal grand formation, or the Heavenly Sword Life and Death Bureau? Gu Qin looked at the four directions in amazement. Neither. Gu Hai shook his head. Oh. A huge amount of spirit stones are needed to support a formation, and this amount of spirit stones is far from enough. Gu Hai shook his head. Then what kind of formation is this one? Gu Qin said unexpectedly. The empty city scheme. Gu Hai took a deep breath and said. Gu Qin's expression was solemn as he nodded. Righteous Father is wise. With the fierce reputation of the Heavenly Sword Life and Death Bureau, and the 28 heaven and earth vertical formation in front of us, the outside cultivators, they may not dare to risk their lives easily. Gu Hai nodded. In the middle of a mountain forest, in the distance, outside the ancient mansion, zzzz, a series of footsteps traveled through the mountain forest, but it was the Earth Ministry evil man that Chen Chongchen had taken away. At this moment, Chen Chongchen was being carried by a stretcher, in the middle of a rapid run through the mountain forest. Cough, 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 cough. Quickly go. In that direction. The ancient mansion is in that direction. Cough, cough, cough. Chen Chongchen on the stretcher pointed into the distance and coughed. Not only Chen Chongchen. At this moment, there are a large number of evil people who are seriously injured in general. Most of them are carried by the stretcher, quickly traveling through the forest in general. Minister, how could you clear Kof sect? How could they ambush us? A villain said with an ugly face. Cough, cough, cough. Traitors. They're traitors. They've betrayed my Clear River sect and are mixing with the Song Armor sect disciples, Chen Chonchen said with an ugly face. Minister, let's kill them back. A few villains glared and said. No, don't go back, Chen Chonchen weakly shouted. My lord, my subordinate can't swallow this breath, this ambush. 300 of us were injured and 15 died. When have we ever suffered such a big loss? That villain glared. I know, cough cough, I know I don't have much ability. I didn't recognize their tricks. I'm afraid of everything. I'm not as smart as Gao Xianzi, not as fierce as Scar, not as mysterious as Shangwen Scar, but I know how to be afraid of death. Fear of death. I mentioned it to His Excellency, and His Excellency didn't care. Instead, he told me to keep it up. Because I'm afraid of death, I don't want to commit danger together. We've already lost 15 people. I don't want more people to die. Let's report to His Excellency. His Excellency will avenge us, Chen Chonchen weakly said. Alas, the faces of the crowd of villains were ugly for a while. King sect. It has been exterminated. Ha ha ha. Exterminated. It's too late after all. Inside and outside. It's now completely under the Songjia sect. The sect leader is nowhere to be found. His life or death is unknown. Is the head of the Hall of One Piece all imprisoned? Patriarch Songjia. *** Sheng. You have great guts, Chen Chonchen weakly said. How could the Hall Master of the Hall of One Piece be imprisoned? *** Sheng. What is he up to? I don't know. Quick, follow this road. Keep walking. Go see the Lord. Quick, Chen Chonchen weakly said. Yes, a group of villains with ugly faces quickly ran towards the distance. Ancient Mansion. Next to the ancient mansion was a small valley, which was also shrouded in fog at the moment, and outsiders did not dare to approach. The small valley was quite quiet, with a small stream flowing through it, which was surrounded by azaleas. The valley usually did not allow outsiders to enter, so as not to disturb the quietness of the valley. At this moment, Gu Hai stepped into the small valley carrying a food box, walked through the azalea bushes and stopped in front of a small tomb. A stone tablet was erected in front of the small tomb, very inconspicuous, as if it was an ordinary small grave. On the tombstone was written, Tomb of Beloved Wife Chen Xiaonair. Gu Hai held a food box in his hand and looked at the tombstone for a while in silence. After a while, Gu Hai gently opened the food box and slowly took out a disc of pastries. Steamed green bean cake, secret purple potato glutinous rice cake, red bean paste cake. All of them are what you like. I haven't helped you make them with my own hands for half a year. Let's see. Has the craftsmanship deteriorated? Gu Hai looked at the tombstone and smiled ruefully. Slowly, he sat down and leaned on top of the tombstone. Xiaonair, the old man is back, Gu Hai said with a slight sigh. Leaning on the tombstone and looking up at the sky, Gu Hai's entire being seemed to be much more relaxed. In front of outsiders, he was majestic and ferocious, but sitting in front of this tombstone, it was as if he had let down all his guards and turned into a child. See, I've become younger and no longer look like an old man. I am now in the 7th level of the innate realm. What I told you, if other people can cultivate, I must be able to too. I did it. And it's getting better and better. I will also reach the Jindan realm as soon as possible. And as soon as possible, I will be powerful, getting stronger and stronger, so that those who trample on us at will no longer have a chance. I will avenge your death. That group of people who killed you, I will cut off their flesh one by one. Gu Hai's tone was flat, but his eyes were full of determination. You don't have to worry about me. I'll live a good life. I'll live better than anyone else, better than our enemies. I've already got a little bit of an idea. Back then, they came to the 9-5 Islands, maybe just to find the dragon vein. But no one found it. I'll slowly find them, my wife, my love. Picking up a piece of mung bean cake, Gu Hai ate it, looked around. After a while, Gu Hai revealed a bitter smile. A few months ago, in the innate remnant realm, I heard a message. People have three souls: heaven, earth and human. After you die, the heavenly soul returns to heaven, the earthly soul reincarnates, and the human soul stays beside the grave. Is your human soul there? Can it see me? Can it hear me? Gu Hai ate the green bean paste and said softly, I miss you so much, Shanae. 2 lines of tears slipped from the corner of Gu Hai's eyes. Leaning against the tombstone, Gu Hai murmured softly, and not knowing how long it took, Gu Hai leaned against the tombstone and slowly fell asleep. In the dream, it was as if a voice reappeared in the dream. My husband is a great hero of the world, saved a nation of people. My husband is a great benefactor who saves suffering. Husband, this puppy is so pitiful. Husband, I want to give you a baby. My husband is the most powerful, he can protect me. With husband here, I won't be bullied by anyone. The voices in the dream were all past memories. Gu Hai relived them over and over again in his sleep. Leaning against the tombstone, even when he fell asleep, the tears never stopped. Rumble. Chen Chonshan and a large number of villains were carried to the ancient mansion by a group of villains. The journey was smooth, and although many people were curious as to why this group of villains had made such a mess, no one dared to stop them. In the middle of the ancient mansion, Minister Chen, how did you get like this? Gao Xianzi looked at the injured Chen Chonshan in surprise. Where is the Lord? Quickly, take me to see His Excellency. Chen Chonshan was anxious. As the 4 ministers gathered, with Gu Qin and Gu Han accompanying them, Chen Chonshan was anxious. Minister Chen, my father is mourning his late mother. No one can disturb him, Gu Qin solemnly said. But it's in a dire situation, Chen Chonshan anxiously said. You can start by telling us that my father is mourning his late mother. And really no one can be disturbed, even my elder brother, and I are not allowed to come close, Gu Han explained. Deceased mother, my lord has a wife. Scar was surprised. Gu Qin and Gu Han, however, never mentioned it, and the crowd understood by looking at the expressions of the two that they shouldn't ask more questions. Turning their heads, they looked at Chen Chonshan. Chen Chonshan, what happened? Shangwen Trace frowned. Alas, we ran into an ambush, Chen Chonshan said bitterly. You went back to the King sect and encountered an ambush. The crowd was surprised. A few days later, in King sect, at the place of a pavilion, Songjia Patriarch *** Sheng, and to his subordinates, in the middle of their report. Gu Hai is back, looks like Elder Bai's side failed, *** Sheng said in a cold voice. Yes, Elder Bai even transformed at that time, but he was still decapitated by that group of villains. A subordinate behind him respectfully said. HMPH, rubbish, telling him to go forward as soon as possible, yet he wants to talk about the rehearsal. Humph, ** Sheng coldly said. Patriarch, that group of evil people, but it is also Li Wei who is a waste. Only then did he let this group of evil people destroy the Dafeng gang. This group of evil people. If it was before, there is still some worry. Now, what do you have to worry about? Nowadays, all of them are able to transform, and the rest of them are still in the process of continuous transformation. Are you still afraid of them? ** Sheng coldly said. Yes, subordinate is overly worried. How is the interrogation going? ** Sheng said in a deep voice. No news yet. We have used a lot of torture. The King Patriarch is stubborn. He just refuses to talk. That subordinate's face was ugly and said. ** Sheng's eyes narrowed slightly. We must force that monk's whereabouts out, otherwise, it will be a trouble for me as well. Yes,